and welcome to the national election debate. As we run up to the general elections, there has been a pressing need for a forum in which some subjects which are critical, subjects on which you will probably cast your vote, are discussed in detail. An opportunity for political parties not just to squabble on these issues, but to lay out threadbare what they believe in and what they can offer to you. Therefore, let me begin this episode of the national election debate by saying that there are certain ground rules for the debate, which I will lay out before you. But the fundamental principle is this, that Indian democracy needs an opportunity for greater voter awareness. These 6 national election debates, which will culminate in one super national election debate right on the eve of voting in April, hope to set the ground for that. Before I welcome our panelists, let me first a round of applause for our 100-strong audience here today. Thank you very much. And I look forward. I see a lot of very young faces in the audience here today. And in a country in which more and more voters are in the 18 to 25 category, I think there are many of you here who are in that age group. So thank you for joining in. I hope you have strong participation in this debate. Feel free to applaud someone. Feel free to cheer for someone if possible. Try and avoid booing for someone if possible. The ground rules. Well, we will make sure in the course of these national election debates that India's principal political parties, that is the BJP and the Congress first, are represented in every debate. The presence of other parties or players in the debates will be issue specific. Secondly, as I said, these debates will provide a platform on which these issues which will have an impact on the elections are discussed and debated in detail. The debate, I hope, will lay out the official position of the parties on these subjects. What the participants therefore say in these debates will be considered by all our viewers nationally as the last word on the subject. Each of their comments is therefore on record, and each comment that they make will have a sense of great finality. A note to the panelists, therefore, think through what you are going to say, because what you are going to say will be the final position of your party and cannot be passed off later if it's controversial as your individual opinion. There are 2 broad ground rules we are following in the national election debates. First, the views expressed are those of the political parties and not individual positions, since each of the representatives here are either authorized or they have been appointed by the parties to express their point of view. Secondly, Times Now is hoping to have a great amount of plurality and balance in the debate. In different points of view, it's not always possible to achieve perfect balance, but our attempt is towards achieving a broad balance in the subject. Our subject for this national election debate, ladies and gentlemen, is this: communalism before the elections and secularism after the elections. Communalism before the election and secularism after the elections is a reality of Indian electoral politics. I would first like to start with a call of hands of those who believe in the subject, are for the subject or against, before I introduce the panelists today. The subject is this, and those who believe that this subject is correctly worded may please raise their hands. Communalism before the elections and secularism after the elections is the reality of Indian electoral politics. How many of you agree with that statement? I wouldn't take a percentage on that, but I think that's roughly 50-50 therefore. Our 4 panelists on our first national election debate. From my extreme left, Randeep Singh Surjewala has been active in politics since his teenage years, when as a 17-year-old he was made General Secretary of the Haryana Pradesh Youth Congress. He was National President of the Indian Youth Congress in 2000, made Secretary of the All India Congress Committee in 2004. He's a Cabinet Minister in the Haryana government and has also been appointed in the last few years as the National Spokesperson of the Congress Party. Mr. Surjewala, thank you for joining us. Can we have a round of applause for each of our panelists?
Good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Randeep. It's good to see you face to face sometime. Smriti Irani, to Randeep's right, joined the BJP in 2003. She was made president of the Maharashtra Youth Wing of the party in 2004. In 2010, she was appointed as national secretary of the party and made president of the All India President of the Women's Wing of the party in the same year. She has been a member of parliament in the Rajya Sabha since 2011, one of the most vocal and well-known faces of the BJP, Smriti Irani. To my right, the RSS, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, does not willingly participate in television debates. I think there is something compelling about this subject which has made Ram Madhav join us today. Mr. Ram Madhav has been associated with the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh since the age of 16 in 1981 when he volunteered with them as a full-time worker. Mr. Ram Madhav is the face of the RSS, a national spokesperson of the RSS since 2003. Mr. Ram Madhav, thank you. And to his right, the fourth participant in our national election debate is Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi. He's the national president of the All India Majlis-e-Ittehadul Muslimin, the AIMIM, and is a member of parliament from the Hyderabad constituency. He was an MLA in the Andhra Pradesh Legislative Assembly from 1994 to 2003, elected to the Lok Sabha a year later. His party allied with the UPA in 2004 and 2009 in controversial circumstances, quit the alliance in November 2012. A vocal speaker who often disagrees very strongly with Ram Madhav. Asaduddin Owaisi, thank you very much for joining us on this debate. Are we ready for a free and open sharing of views today? The rules are very simple. Introductory comments are for 2 minutes. The buzzer will go at the end of 2 minutes and every 30 seconds after that. Please stay to time. If you feel any speaker has made a factual inaccuracy in what he says, you can come in and say that you have a fact check. Otherwise, try not to interrupt the speaker in his first flow of thoughts. After the first introductory comments are made, you can come in with two forms of interjections, either a counter question or a rebut. You have a choice of any. There'll be 2 allowed to each speaker. The debate begins here. I would first like to introduce Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi into the debate as someone whose views very often have been seen to be the views of the fringe on the subject. Communalism before the elections and secularism after the elections is the reality of Indian politics. Mr. Owaisi.
Let me first correct you. I don't represent the fringe. I represent the backward and the disadvantaged people and the minorities in particular. The first point which I'd like to make and the people should understand is that communalism before election and secularism after election. If we see what BJP has done from 96 onwards till 2003, they have practiced communalism before coming to power, and then to come into power, they have diluted or set aside some of the important issues which the RSS stands for. Now, the second important point which I would like the youngsters over here and the nation to understand is that what Mr. Modi speaks of first, India first, please understand that Article 25 to Article 30 talks about protecting religious and cultural identity of the minorities. When you talk about India first, this is nothing but a majoritarian form of democracy. Our democracy, yes, in practice it might be majoritarian, but our forefathers intended that this democracy, which is parliamentary democracy, which practices first past the post system, must be participative democracy. If India goes towards the path of majoritarian democracy, then the whole ethos of this nation, our nation stands on pluralism and secularism. If majority democracy is practiced, then forever we can forget pluralism and the diversity which we celebrate each and every day.
You've stayed to time, Mr. Owaisi, which is surprising sometimes. Thank you very much for your opening comments, Mr. Owaisi. Rebuts or counter questions to Mr. Owaisi from any of our panelists, please. Is Mr. Owaisi going unchallenged?
No, he's not, but I was waiting for my turn to do my introductory comments. I think that in a nation where around 433 million youngsters wait for job opportunities, a nation which is challenged today that 1 out of 3 graduates go unemployed, a nation which ranks 63rd on the global hunger index, but where we see 44,000 crores of worth of food stuff being wasted every year, which could have fed 6 crore people. That is a nation today which is positioning itself on issues of development, on issues
What's
which
your
are
question
core.
to Mr. Owaisi?
My question to him thus is this, that when Mr. Owaisi speaks about participative democracy, when he speaks about equality and pluralism, and he quotes articles of the Constitution, the same Constitution also speaks about justice for all and equality for all under law, which is the Article 44, which is something which is totally kept out of his discourse. I feel that those who speak about India first need to understand, especially when they attack it, that a deliberate fear psychosis is created amongst certain communities to keep them away from the core issues of development. I think India is one, irrespective of the region we hail from or the religion we practice. My interjection with regards to Mr. Owaisi's statement is this, that when he attacks Mr. Modi on issues of secularism, this is a bogey always raised to keep communities away from fruits of development. Today, the fact of Gujarat is that I represent is this.
He got the question.
No, allow me to finish, because I'll finish my introductory comments with this only.
No, I will come to you for introductory comments.
Which are Muslim so-called dominated have voted for the BJP on the basis of good governance.
Ms. Smriti Irani, I will come to you for introductory comments, but I will remove 30 seconds from your introductory comments because you've taken more time in this part of the question. Mr. Owaisi, your response to Smriti Irani.
The first point which the BJP spokesperson is completely unaware is that in our constitution, madam, we have fundamental rights, which we call you cannot touch it. The fundamental rights, I have spoken of Article 25 to 30. You talk about an article which is not a fundamental right. Secondly, I talked about pluralism, which is the preamble to our constitution, which you cannot touch, which the Supreme Court has said. Thirdly, if you come, and thirdly, Mr. Ram Madhav can respond to it. He can guide us that I have read an RSS document which says that anyone who's the national of this country, irrespective of Shaiva, Shakta, Vaishnava, Sikh, Jain, Muslim, Christian, by way of his creed or mode of worship is an Hindu, which I don't believe in this. This contradicts what I have just said. The pluralism and ethos of this country.
We'll allow one more rebut or an interjection. I think Mr. Ram Madhav is taking that. Go ahead, Mr. Madhav. Is it a rebut or a counter question you put forward?
I have an observation and I don't think I have to put any question. Firstly, Mr. Owaisi, no need. A party which goes by the name Muslimin today talks about pluralism. It's quite funny to me, number one. Number two, your statement is, it's quite, I cannot understand when you say that talking about India is majoritarianism. We have to rewrite our dictionaries. You have to invent new words to talk about the country. If I talk about India, you say it's majoritarianism. Your argument is quite illogical, and you are motivated by a particular bias. That bias is in your religious bias.
Mr. Ram Madhav, it's not religious bias. It is your mental bias. I am telling you that India is a mosaic which has religions, which have languages.
Then why do you have the name Muslimin in your party? Why don't you change it to something which is more secular, more pluralist?
Mr. Ram Madhav,
it should be pluralist.
Mr. Ram Madhav.
Only two parties in this country have the name Muslimin. One is Muslim League, which was responsible for the partition of this country. The other is Majlis Ittihadul Muslimin.
Okay. Mr. Ram Madhav, please read the Hindutva judgment of Supreme Court. Asking for votes for a community, for its upliftment, for its empowerment and creating confidence in parliament democracy is not a crime. Asking for votes under the name of hatred for a community is wrong according to Supreme Court, which unfortunately is being practiced by your organizations, though you don't participate politically, because we know what happened, your resolution, you cannot practice in politics.
Our second speaker who is giving their points of view, and the only reason I'm interrupting this debate is because we have an open debate round coming in. Let everybody give their points of view. And I just want one small request to make everyone. Put your question in. I know you have very strong observations to make, but you put your question or put your rebut, and we have a longer time for observations. Our second speaker today will be Smriti Irani. She gets 90 seconds because she took more than 2 minutes with her opening remarks. Smriti Irani, on the subject, communalism before the polls and the secular card after the polls, being the reality of Indian politics. Your time starts now. Well,
being the only woman on the panel, I presume that I'd get 33% more of the time, but I don't. And I will reiterate what I said in my interjection with Mr. Owaisi, which is this. I think for too long, and I'm very glad that today the youngsters occupy a major portion of the audience. For too long, people in our country have been scared into voting on the basis of secularism and communalism. We are a nation which has given the world the message of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We are a nation of people who have lived a life of respecting each other's way of life, the religions we preach, the religions we practice, and are extremely accommodative. Hence, specifically, young India today recognizes and realizes that the secularism bogey is always presented by those who have been inefficient in governance. And today, the young India, which seeks to vote in Lok Sabha 2014, looks forward to issues with regards to the economy, with regards to their own employment opportunities, with regards to the challenges that they face vis-a-vis getting education today. And for them to be swayed away by raising the secular bogey, I think those who interject or intervene in this kind of a dangerous policy to shift the focus away from issues of governance and development will be sorely disappointed when this young India comes out and puts India first and votes on issues of good governance.
Counter questions. I wonder, you keep repeatedly talking about the secular bogey, though I am not allowed interjections at this stage. But I wonder whether you think that, that the younger generation, the new India, will be more tolerant about communalism. And I found it very interesting and intriguing, Ms. Smriti Irani, that you have kept a very complete silence on that subject of communalism. You speak about the secular bogey, but you ignored one part of the subject which was put before you. Now, rebuts or counter questions for Smriti Irani at this stage.
I've never been known to shy away from it.
But you just
did.
And
I have directly interjected or presented my views vis-a-vis the secularism bogey.
You did speak on communalism.
Psychosis has been created. That is not something which is restricted to this particular debate or this particular channel. That is something that even youngsters of this nation have themselves experienced.
May I at this stage make a confession that I am extremely tempted to go into debate with you, Ms. Smriti Irani, on the subject. I will hold myself back because I must give way to the other panelists. I'm not standing for election, you all are.
Could I
counter questions, the first rebut. Is it a rebut or a counter question?
No, it's a counter question I want to ask Smriti ji. When you speak about secular bogies, do you believe that the plurality of the country should not be respected by all? Or does anybody have a right to impose one's God over another? Would you answer that?
I think, Randeep ji, I've been extremely clear when I say that my definition of secularism is putting India first. My definition of secularism is equal opportunity for every Indian, irrespective of their region or religion.
But do you believe that every Indian has a right to practice their religion? Irrespective of interference, interjection or domination by the other? Do I have a right to practice my God, irrespective of employment, development and other paradigms?
I'm absolutely supportive of the idea that according to the Constitution, the rights we enjoy as citizens, irrespective of our religion and the region we hail from, the rights that we enjoy in terms of the fruits of success of the economy is something which should be equally distributed amongst us all. But what is interesting is that you completely bypass.
May I interject and ask you another question?
At this stage, I want to say one thing to Mrs. Surjewala. You're a lawyer, aren't you? Yeah, and like a lawyer, you're like a lawyer, you're going with an interesting line of argument. My request to Mr. Surjewala of the Congress Party, who is following a line of argument, is, sir, if you have proof that the BJP, if your line of argument, the BJP has carried out in an institutional manner any deliberate discrimination on the basis of religion, I would request you to please put it before Ms. Smriti Irani immediately so that she can respond.
Thank you. Do you agree that when numbers of Muslim minority community people living in Juhapura in Ahmedabad, state that you represent now, post riots swell up from 1 lakh to 4.5 lakhs. When people of minority community are discriminated against in a systematic manner where intermixing of communities and religion is considered a taboo in a state like Gujarat, where Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh and Bharatiya Janata Party both get together and distribute fake CDs of an incident in Muzaffarnagar leading to riots against minority community. Do you think that is secular bogey or secular pseudoism?
Okay, that's
or is that, does that militate against the very
I think your point is made, Ms. Irani.
No,
one sec. You're being contested. No. Is it? Are you contesting him on fact? Are you contesting him on fact?
Yeah,
is it a fact check? Okay, it's a fact check. Go ahead.
He has invoked the name of RSS and said RSS cadres have distributed CDs. We have never done that. Probably the Congress cadres, the guys of RSS using RSS pretext because you are experts in communal politics. You are experts in communal politics. I'm telling you the fact.
Is he not your MLA?
I am
who is
telling you.
Rajendra Agarwal, member of parliament.
No, I am talking about the RSS, about MLAs and
who
MPs.
comes from an RSS background
Smriti
and is a BJP MLA today.
She will respond to your
and
BJP
none less
question.
than
I am saying,
Rajendra Agarwal, your MP from Meerut, admitted
no RSS
that he
cadre.
uploaded that
No RSS
Now, now, I think
onto
no
the
RSS
Facebook.
cadre. No
I think,
RSS cadre ever
he did.
believes.
I think
no
the-
RSS
I think
cadre
the,
ever believes in such kind of hatred and propaganda.
the allegation of following divisive and hate politics is made against the BJP. You made your intervention out there. He's made a counter interjection. Mr. Madhav, just hold yourself back for a minute because we have the open debate. Right? I think Smriti Irani should defend us.
To me, let me answer this. 70% populated Muslim-dominated constituencies in Gujarat have voted for the Bharatiya Janata Party because we have delivered on the promise of good governance and development.
Oh, that's why you did not even bother to
Mr.
field even a
Surjewala,
single person of the
let me
minority
finish my
community.
answer. I know that you're itching to push this agenda forward. What is interesting is the definition of Congress's idea of secularism is this, that when Ashok Gehlot was the Chief Minister of Rajasthan, the police in Rajasthan, under the leadership of the Congress government, went into a masjid and fired at Muslims there, thereby killing 8 people. Today, the Congress enjoys the support of the Samajwadi Party at the center, and the same Samajwadi Party has been indicted by the central government for having over 100 riots in UP. I ask you, Mr. Surjewala, this, that you, the messiah of secularism, why don't you reject the hate politics of Samajwadi Party?
You put a counter question. I allow the counter question.
Just a little clarification, since he called out names and made improper, illegal allegations. Investigations which have been taken in by the Samajwadi Party government in Uttar Pradesh have found absolutely no evidence to this allegation which Randeep ji seeks to display on your debate platform.
Well, I think both of you are factually incorrect, but I'll reserve my comments for later.
I think
Yes, Mr.
Smriti
Surjewala.
is completely incorrect. Let me give you 3 facts. Number 1, Muzaffarnagar riots started because Mr. Sangeet Som, the Bharatiya Janata Party MLA who comes from RSS cadre, uploaded a fake viral CD which was from Afghanistan, showing it to be...
Factually, she can.
I'm interjecting in this, Mr. Goswami, because investigations have found this to be absolutely
Investigations
false.
have found that it is correct.
It is not.
None less than Rajendra Agarwal.
He has not done
I know
it.
it is 2:1.
Investigations have found that your allegation is
I
absolutely
think
incorrect.
if you check
hence for you
times
to
now,
push this on this
the
debate
Meerut
platform.
MP of the Bharatiya Janata Party has conceded. Mr. Sangeet Som, the BJP MLA, has conceded.
No, he has
that
not.
Yes,
In fact,
he
he's
did
come on
upload
Times
that
now
fake
and
viral
said
CD
very categorically
onto his Facebook
What is
account.
interesting
He
is
said,
you
I did
refuse
it
to
innocently.
answer my question with
That
regards to
innocent
Rajasthan,
CD,
and you
which was
continue to
then
enjoy the
replicated
support of the
by
Samajwadi Party.
Well,
RSS cadre was
I
distributed, which led to the riots, which has led to devastation and uprooting of the largest
I think
minority community people.
1 minute, please. We are still on opening.
Please have the patience. It is also true.
Mr. Ram Madhav, no, 1 minute, gentlemen.
It is
1 minute.
true.
1 minute.
Uttar Pradesh,
Mr. Surjewala, now, when I request you, please, I just request you to hold yourself back. Introductory comments right now. 2 minutes start for Mr. Ram Madhav, who's been itching to get his word in anyway for some time. Mr. Ram Madhav, on the subject and fully aware of the fact that the RSS has been accused by your political detractors of being a communal organization, where the Home Secretary releases a list of 10 people and the Home Ministry says that these people have been associated with the RSS. The reason why you are therefore necessarily drawn to the debate, apart from your filial links with the Bharatiya Janata Party, make you very relevant for what is going to happen in the election of 2014. Hence, on the subject, communalism before the election, Mr. Madhav, not just secularism after the election, is the reality of Indian politics. Your 2 minutes starts now.
No, you see, your subject for this debate, first of all, I appreciate your initiative in starting this nationwide, this activity just before the elections. It's very good, it's educative, and people will be benefited by these debates. But to start it with such a cynical topic is something very, it speaks volumes about the quality of our politics today. And I have one amendment to make to your topic. There are parties in this country.
Mr. Madhav,
you don't have to make it. You don't have to make it.
No, but Mr. Madhav, I will not I will not allow you to make it.
No,
Mr.
no,
Madhav.
you should allow me to make my comments.
No, no,
you don't amend it on your screen.
No, no,
let
but
me
Mr. Madhav, I would want you to address the subject which
I am talking about the same subject. I am adding one line to your subject. You said there is communalism before the election, secularism after the elections. True with some parties like Congress, but there is communalism before the elections and communalism after the elections with many parties like Majlis Party. So you have a topic which covers the whole spectrum. That's what I'm trying to say. As far as the question of secularism is concerned, everybody should practice it before the elections, after the elections, and if there is no election at all in this country. Secularism is not something that you practice just before the election or after the election. It's a principle which is enshrined in our constitution. But having said it, we have never defined the word secularism in our constitution. That's the reason why Mr. Owaisi uses it to his advantage, to support his arguments, and Mr. Surjewala uses it to support his own arguments. And both practice most communal politics in this country. And I tell you what I mean by that. This secularism that should be practiced by the state. Secularism is a principle that the state should follow. State should maintain equidistance from all religions, and it should give respect to all religions. It's not something that individuals will follow. Mr. Owaisi will wear that dress. He will be a religious person. He cannot be a secular person in terms of irreligiousness. He will be religious, yet his outlook will be secular in the sense that he will be looking at all people.
The first person to have breached the buzzer.
My only point is, you promulgate laws in the name of religion and you claim to be secular. You have a party in the name of religion, claim to be secular. That is, totally travesty of this whole concept of secularism, I believe.
Okay, Mr. Owaisi. Mr. Owaisi, are you coming in with a rebut or a counter question?
I have a counter question to Mr. Ram Madhav. During my initial remarks, I had said, I have quoted from your pamphlet. Okay. Do you believe that Muslims are Hindus? Or do you, no, let me complete. Second point, what is your opinion on Dalit Muslim, Dalit Christian? Because you say it should be secular. Please make me understand, Mr. Ram Madhav. How is it that only a Hindu can be a Dalit, a Sikh can be Dalit, and a Buddhist? Why not a Muslim and Christian? When I have quoted Article 14, right to equality, freedom of religion, these are fundamental rights. Aren't these contravening the fundamental rights? Why is RSS opposing Dalit status to Christians when we are all part of the same nation? Why is it that it should be an exclusive domain for only Hindus and Sikhs and Buddhists? Now that is why I say that because of your ideology, Mr. Ram Madhav, our secularism, it is definitely there's no problem. The state does not intervene in your religious festival or my religious festival. The state celebrates the diversity. The distinctness of the nation. That is what it is.
Let me take your two questions. Number one, the thing that you quoted from our one of our publications, we believe in the fact that irrespective of one's way of worship, mode of worship we call it, one's mode of worship, one is seen as the national of this country by us. We use the word Hindu to denote a cultural entity of that person, not a religious or a political entity. Now, if somebody like you have an objection, we also said, you call yourself a Bharatiya. And Mr. Modi went one step further. He said, you call yourself an Indian, which you brand as a majoritarianism. But he said the same thing. I will remind you of name of one person by name Muhammad Karim Bhai Chagla. He was the education minister of our country when Pandit Nehru was the prime minister. Read his biography, Roses in December, in which he says, I am a Hindu by culture, a Muslim by religion, and a British by an English by education. He had no problem with that proposition. But somebody has a problem with the word Hindu. Use Hindustani. Sare jahan se acha Hindustan hamara was used by Muhammad Iqbal, who went further and said.
You are twisting facts.
No, I'm not twisting. I'm saying the fact.
I know you're an expert on Iqbal.
No, I'm sorry. You are an expert.
I know an expert on Iqbal.
I'm sorry. I'm answering your question.
Iqbal, when he used Hindu, does not mean the Hindu Hindu Rashtra which you talk about. No,
what
we talk about nation. Please,
no, you don't agree with what we say as Hindus. We say we treat you also as Hindustani.
I will never agree with you. I will never agree with you. I will continue to disagree with you. We will continue to oppose with you. till I
good for your
live
politics,
and the
I know
generation.
that. You
But
don't
don't worry
have to
about
agree
that.
with
We
that.
have to oppose you. To save this nation, Mr. Ram Madhav, we have to oppose you.
This
We have to
nation
oppose
has
you.
to be saved from your politics, which we will do. But don't worry about that.
One second. Smriti Irani wants to come in on a fact check. I presume you disagree with Mr. Ram Madhav
No, I'm just-
on his on his use. Do you disagree? No.
With regards to Mr.
That's
Owaisi.
all right. You're providing, therefore, covering fire
No,
to
I'm not.
Mr. Ram Madhav. But I think the country would want to know, Ms. Smriti Irani, and this audience would want to know whether you disagree with the broad definition of Mr. Ram Madhav, but every person of the minorities is culturally a Hindu, which is basically his argument. Do you have the political...
Chagla's argument.
One second.
MC Chaglas, not Ram
You said
Madhav.
it, not me. I'm asking. But you agree with Mr.
I agree
Chagla?
with Chagla.
You agree
I
with
agree
Mr.
with
Chagla?
Chagla,
Does Ms.
100%.
Smriti Irani,
Yes.
does Ms. Smriti Irani disagree with you? A party which talks about India first. Does that party disagree with the proposition of the RSS on this? Would you please state your point of view
What
clearly?
the representative of the RSS
No.
has said on your debate, which I've heard myself, is that secularism means that state has to be equidistant from all religions.
He's talked
And-
about the broad use of the word Hindu in a cultural
Allow me to
context
finish.
to accommodate and include members of the minority
Can you allow me to
community.
finish? I
Do
will
you agree
answer
with
all
that?
three
Do you agree
gentlemen
with him on
together.
that? Do you agree with him
I'll
on
answer
that?
all three gentlemen
No, I just want
together.
one point.
I'll answer all
you don't
three
have
gentlemen
to. No,
together.
because you came in on a fact check.
I'll answer all three gentlemen together. Thank you so much. I think Mr. Ram
Smriti,
Madhav-
I don't think that can be allowed. No, 1 minute.
Factual problem.
Mr. Ram Madhav, Mr. Ram Madhav, what has happened?
No, you can't twist the facts.
No, Mr. Ram Madhav, what has happened?
May I?
What is happening here right now? Is that you are?
You can't twist the facts.
No,
I said
Mr.
three
Ram
things.
Madhav.
I said you can be a Hindu, you
Mr.
can
Ram
be a
Madhav.
Bharatiya, you can be an Indian.
Mr. Ram
All the
Madhav.
three are same,
No,
synonymous.
but I think
cannot be same thing.
Mr. Ram Madhav, first of all, you did say, and the question that Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi put to you was in the context of the using the word Hindu culturally to include everyone, including members of the minority community.
Yes.
He made that observation. You didn't disagree with him.
No,
You didn't disagree with him.
Arnab, can I just half a
You
minute?
didn't disagree with him.
Arnab,
Yeah, one second.
please.
Mr. Owaisi.
Madam, I am quoting from your pamphlet. It says, by way of his creed or mode of worship is a Hindu. How can my worship be? And please understand, Ram Madhav.
No, you are misquoting our
Mr.
document.
Ram Madhav, Mr. Ram Madhav, I don't misquote. I don't misquote.
You are misquoting. Please show me.
Mr. Ram Madhav,
Which
if I am
document you tell me?
misquoting, please file a defamation suit against me.
No.
I welcome.
We
Please
have
file
better
it.
thing to do,
No,
my friend.
Mr. Ram Madhav, I'm open to it. File a criminal defamation.
You have been misquoting.
No, Mr.
You have
Ram
been
Madhav.
misrepresenting
No.
Like
facts all your life.
part of your poll strategy for 2000.
I just want
do it.
to. I just.
Please, Mr. Ram
No.
Madhav.
You see, gentlemen, 1 second. What the political party I'm asking questions to, which has deflected itself
No, I
from
have
an
not.
answer,
You've
Ms.
not allowed me
Smriti.
to
I have not
answer.
even mentioned you. It is your.
You have, no,
you're feeling
pointed
guilty
to the-
about
No,
doing
I'm
so,
not
Ms.
at all
Smriti.
guilty, Mr. Goswami. I deal with you every night.
Miss Irani.
Don't worry, you cannot superimpose certain emotions
Miss
on me.
Irani, the question is this. Please. The question, because you're coming in with a fact check, I'll allow you a fact check, but I have a question. I request you answer the question. Mr. Owaisi quotes something which he says has been written by RSS ideologue or is part of the RSS.
No.
1 minute, let him speak for himself.
Why Hindu Rashtra? Why Hindu Rashtra? This is a note prepared by RSS. Why Hindu Rashtra?
Why Hindu Rashtra was written by Savarkar?
I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to say that. Thank you.
Savarkar had nothing to do with RSS.
Now, if that is, if that,
Thank you.
if,
What do you mean?
So you have disowned Savarkar.
Savarkar was not a member of RSS.
So
He
you
was
don't.
a leader of Hindu
Thanks a lot.
Mahasabha.
This is Arnab, this is a new revelation.
You are so
he has
ignorant. Such an ignorant
if,
person.
the question, I think you see.
No, I
am
know
so
everyone,
surprised.
but you are disowning him.
No,
Since,
what is the question of disowning?
Since,
You are disowning him.
You can't quote Savarkar to say that this is the RSS view.
Since the
Not
RSS,
written by Savarkar. This is written
Since
upon.
No, who is that?
I'm telling you, file a criminal defamation against
No, we have better things to do, my friend.
Gentlemen, by the way, have we noticed that the Congress party hasn't even put its introductory comments? I haven't forgotten Mr. Surjewala, but I just want to say one thing. Since it is the BJP and the Congress fighting the election and the AIMIM and not the RSS, RSS is not fighting the election.
Cannot fight elections.
Well, and the BJP is. I request, now my question is very clear and pointed, and if you deflect the question, not just our audience here, but the entire, those watching this telecast will observe that. So my question to you, Ms. Irani, is this, that if Mr. Owaisi has quoted that text correctly. Do you disagree with it?
Since your question is based on the supposition that he is quoting correctly, I would just say this, that the representative of the RSS has clarified that he is misquoting a certain document.
You believe the representative of the RSS?
I'm going by the statements made here, but let me allow me the fact check that I was trying to do, Mr. Goswami, before this entire cacophony that I heard here.
I'm coming.
The fact check is this. There are two comments which both the gentlemen made, which I want you to reflect on. Mr. Owaisi spoke about the possible rights and privileges of those who are from the backward communities in the Muslim community. And Mr. Ram Madhav spoke about the fact that secularism means that state is equidistant from all religions. Yes. I know what I'm about to say might not endure Mr. Modi to Mr. Owaisi, but the fact in terms of governance in Gujarat is this. Allow me to finish, sir. The fact with regards to governance in Gujarat is this, that we have a Bakshi Panch welfare program which seeks to serve the backward communities in Gujarat, and Muslim communities, Mr. Owaisi, are also included in that. Hence, we have a working, functional example of how a state is equidistant from all religions and serves to seeks to serve those who are backward in our.
I should be allowed the Congress in. Randeep Singh Surjewala on the subject here today, and what we'll do is we're going to take a show of hands. So to the audience here at this point, we'll take two questions, couple of questions also. Think about what they are debating about. Ask yourself whether at the end of this debate you are feeling more and more that the communal secular issue and these divides are going to be a permanent feature in Indian politics. Does this debate inspire you to believe that the communal card or the secular card will be a thing of the past? Or does it make you feel it will become even more deeply entrenched in our politics? I'll take a call of hands in about 10 minutes after the Congress representative speaks and there are rebuts to it. Mr. Surjewala, your time starts
Before
now.
you start my time, I just want to interject and say one thing. On the lighter note, I think you should have put me either on that side or this side. You are under too much fire and it's 2:1. So perhaps next time you should rethink.
I've never been under fire, Mr. Surjewala, except from your party.
Can you substantiate that?
Absolutely.
Mr. Surjewala, uses fire against me every night on the news. Yes, Mr. Surjewala, 2 minutes start.
It's mutual.
Now.
My time starts now, I hope. What I saw Mr. Ram Madhav, Mr. Owaisi and Ms. Smriti Irani say is what is wrong with the understanding of the concept of India. India lives, germinates, thrives not in conflict, but in cohesion. The very foundation of the Indian Union is pluralist, it is inclusive, it is cohesive, it is cohabitative, it is participative. That is what sets me apart from Pakistan. Pakistan's foundation were based on religion. India's were based on pluralism by the Indian National Congress. Those who fail to understand that people in this country have a right to development, to employment, to equal opportunities, but also to profess and practice different religion and respect my God as also his God, as also her God. That independence is under threat from many parties, both majority and minority, which are threatening the very fabric of India's ethos and the idea of India. And those who are young in India, those who are young Indians, and why young Indians? Every Indian needs to ask the relevant question from all political parties, and that is what Indian National Congress represents. Development, yes. Employment, yes. Opportunities, yes. But right to practice and believe in different gods, also yes. Because that is what the idea of India is. Those who are trying to impose their idea, like Mr. Ram Madhav just said, that everybody has to be a Hindu to thrive in this country, my party does not subscribe to that. And I will just interject and say one more line, and that is this, that India will go into 21st century and will become a world superpower, not on the division of religion, not on the division of regions or communities, but on the cohesive, cohabitative, and the unifying approach to India that Indian National Congress represents.
Mr. Surjewala, we are getting two questions in. I'm not asking a question yet. Though I must say that I will be a few minutes away from active participation on this debate. I was thinking as you were speaking, you used the word cohesion 5 times in your introductory comments. Now, when your Minority Affairs Minister says that the Indian Mujahideen, in his view, does not exist, what kind of cohesion is that?
I thought you were not asking a question.
Actually, I desist. Counters, that's the observation.
I'm sorry, I'll answer that.
You don't have to. You don't have to. But you can.
Let me answer that. The fringe elements in Indian polity, whether it is Indian Mujahideen or whether it is the fringe elements of Vishwa Hindu Parishad or fringe elements of RSS, both need to be purged from Indian polity, and that is the only way forward.
I'm sure the minister was not pandering to anyone's
a fringe element. Mr. Rahman Khan is a fringe element.
Well,
and let me just remind you, Mr. Rahman Khan, Mr. Rahman Khan was on record. This is my question to you.
Names.
My question to him, he should listen to my question.
You're 1 second. I'm allowing, Smriti Irani wanted to come in, but I'm getting the first counter coming in. Interestingly, I find tonight,
you are minister.
You call the Prime Minister of the country Dehati Aurat. You may call Mr. Rahman.
I think you're digressing now, Mr.
You called him. You called him a fringe element.
Decency and decorum is also part of India's ethos.
You cannot call Vishwa Hindu Parishad a fringe element, RSS a fringe element. Then wait for the same thing for you. Then your ministry is a fringe element.
None less than Sardar Patel. I quote none less than Sardar Patel.
Let me ask you a simple question.
And he said that, and this is Sardar Patel after Mahatma Gandhi's murder.
He wanted to ask you a question.
Kindly permit me.
He wanted to ask you a question.
Sardar Patel writing to Shama Prasad Mukherjee, as a result of activities of these two bodies, the RSS and Hindu Mahasabha, particularly the former, an atmosphere was created in the country in which such a ghastly tragedy became possible.
This is your agenda.
The question, please.
Simple question about your communalism.
The question. I'm allowing a question. Mr. Surjewala, let him come in. I'm getting a question in. You'll have the second question. First question. 1 second. She comes in with a fact check. I make an observation. The AIMIM has no questions to the Congress party on the subject. Just an observation here today. Smriti Irani on the fact check.
Fact check is this: Mr. Randeep Surjewala is trying to attack the RSS by saying we call the Prime Minister Dehati Aurat. Sir, you've mistaken. I think it was the Pakistani Prime Minister who did so.
Right. Point is made.
Now, in terms of my interjection,
Mr. Modi quoted a Pakistani journalist who has been propagating against Kashmir and
I don't want to speak about the journalist in question who had to give an explanation as to why she withstood an insult to the Prime Minister of India on foreign soil.
We are not discussing individual journalists.
Yes, we are not. So may I please finish my interjection?
You came in with a fact check. I didn't know that you had a question.
No,
you interrupted the RSS. Why should the BJP interrupt the RSS when they are in full flow?
Well, this is a democracy.
The counter question. Counter question to the RSS.
Question is, your minorities minister, on record, asked for political reservations to Muslim constituencies in India. This was a demand put forth by Muhammad Ali Jinnah before the independence, which was repeated by Mr. Rahman Khan few months back. Your government was silent. Your government is practicing communal divide in this country by trying to create Muslim constituencies, separate constituencies in this country.
What's the question, sir?
That's the question. I mean, you have to respond.
Okay, let me answer that, sir. Respectfully, Ram Madhavji, I want to point out to you, that is the difficulty of RSS. Every person in this country has a right to say something. The right of freedom of speech as yet has not been taken away. We completely disagree with Mr. Rahman Khan or anybody who wants to put constituencies based on religion. But that does not mean he doesn't have a right to say. He has a right to say, and that has been categorically rejected.
Thank you.
I don't think so. On several occasions. No, one sec. I come in with a factual check. On several occasions, your Home Minister, who I'm sure continues to be your Home Minister, despite several controversies credited to him, continues to support Mr. Rahman Khan, including when the Home Minister responded to a letter written by Mr. Rahman Khan on February 6th, in which he had expressed concern over quote-unquote wrong arrests of Muslim youth in different parts of the country. And the Home Minister said at that point of time, we strongly support the proposal of special courts so that expeditious trial is possible. In May this year, your Home Minister sought from all states details of Muslim youth involved in terror cases lodged in jails. Therefore, you cannot dissociate yourself from what your Minority Affairs Minister is saying. Mr. Surjewala, your Minority Affairs Minister and your Home Minister work in tandem. A counter question is coming your way. I don't want to get into the debate just yet, but I assure you, in 5 minutes, I will be into this debate. I gave you an example to prove that this is an attempt to create insecurity by playing the perception that Muslims are targeted, which is the charge against your government. I just made that.
Let me just clarify what you're saying. The same Home Minister also clarified when he was asked that yes, he got a complaint some specific Muslim youth, for which he wrote a letter, but he also said, which you forgot to quote, that any person who is being wrongly persecuted is free to write to me and we will get it in.
No, he said, and you are again factually incorrect, Mr. You're again factually
sent to all the chief ministers.
You're again factually incorrect.
What is wrong with that?
It was sent to even BJP government, knowing well that it will go.
May I respectfully ask you, what is wrong with that?
No.
If a particular state government is persecuting people of a particular religion, does the Home Minister of the country not have a right to ask why are people being persecuted on account of color of their
as we run
skin?
up to the gentlemen, in this national election debate, I just want to make one point. The broad issue is people are going to watch you and decide which way they want to vote. There is a view that if a Home Minister writes a letter to all chief ministers saying that people should not be wrongfully detained, there should not be raw persecution, there should not be wrongful arrests, he should say there should not be wrongful arrests of any youth. He should not say there should be not wrongful arrests of only Muslim youth.
That's all. Only quoting him selectively.
No, I'm not.
Correct you, it's a fact check.
I want to rebut your
and that's why he wrote. But he will write for everybody else.
By empirical evidence, let me quote you National Crime Records Bureau. You agree with the NCRB, Arnab?
I agree with no government figure in finality.
No, you have to agree. Don't make yourself as an
question.
You don't want to become an anarchist.
The question
the
question is not about.
I am quoting you National Crime Records Bureau, which says that 29% of Muslims are under trials. And yes, I agree with what has been said over here. Why not have a speedy trial for all the even Hindu elements who are there for terrorists? Why not? Of course we want that.
For all.
Of course we want them.
But that letter says for Muslims.
No. We want it. Let the record set straight. We want even that trial to be expedited. If they are guilty, they should be punished. If they are free, they should be free to go.
I think the question was not about the National Crime Records Bureau. The question was, did the Home Minister write a letter?
No, the Home Minister wrote
saying, you see, no. The Home Minister wrote a letter saying there is a feeling. That he said in the letter that there is a feeling that the Muslims are being targeted. So then there is an assumption that the law enforcement mechanism in this country works against a certain community. Second question is coming in from Smriti Irani.
Well, it's
she had a question.
That he quotes Mr. Surjewala quotes Sardar Patel. If you read the memoirs of Jawaharlal Nehru, you'll find a letter addressed to Govind Ballabh Pant, where he speaks about the Congress party specifically in Uttar Pradesh and says that it's the most communal organization that he has the misfortune of interacting with. I will give those papers and the memoir myself to Mr. Surjewala to reflect upon. But in terms of my interjection,
fact check.
In terms of my interjection,
fact check.
In terms of
on a fact check,
I think Smriti ji, you need to read the biography of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru all over again. It should be copy. I'll send a copy across to you.
I shall give you the copy of the text that I speak about.
Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru,
to the youngsters sitting here so they can understand what your leadership thought about your own organization.
Accused of communalism.
May I?
One of the most inclusive individual personalities pre and post independence has been Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. To accuse him of communalism is really twisting back to the extreme.
He accuses Congress party of communalism. May I finish?
I think Smriti Irani should complete. I think she should complete her
I have two questions
point.
that I want to ask. He rejected the stand of Rahman Khan when the question was posed by you. We had no one else but the Prime Minister of our country, Dr. Manmohan Singh, say that a particular community has the first right to resources of this country. Do you, sir, reject what Dr. Manmohan Singh said?
It's
Second question is
a
this.
fact check again, ma'am.
Second question is this.
A fact check first.
Sir, allow me to finish.
Let her complete. I won't allow to.
Second question, which is still got unanswered, which I asked in the opening remarks with Mr. Surjewala, was this. Is your definition of secularism, sir, that you in a Congress government in Rajasthan enter a masjid and kill Muslims and your chief minister gets away with it?
I think it was pointed out right in the beginning of this program that minority protection and minority programs are part of the constitutional mechanism in this country.
You're not answering the question.
When Prime Minister of the country,
You're not answering the Rajasthan
when Prime
question.
Minister of the country brings out a 15-point program
So I
for
request you to
minority
answer
Let me
question.
speak about the 15-point program
No,
for
no, I request
minorities.
you. No,
Minister of the
don't
country,
digress.
I'm just
I'll
answering
answer on that
when Prime
15-point
Minister of the
program as
country
well, sir.
brings about a program and introduces a comprehensive scheme and allocates a certain budget
Are we
for
talking about
protection and promotion of minority welfare.
I'm afraid,
Does the
Mr.
Bharatiya
Surjewala,
Janata
Not
Party
answer my
have-
two
I'm afraid,
questions.
Mr. Surjewala,
But
that
Mr.
was not
Surjewala,
the
have you
Bharatiya
seen the
Janata Party have an
rating?
objection
Have you
to it?
seen
No.
the rating of the states on the issue of 15-point program of the Prime Minister for minorities? Gujarat is
Have
actually
you-
rated
have
good.
you-
And
have
of
you
the
also
18
seen-
states which have been voted bad
also
by the
seen-
Prime Minister's office, most of them are Congress ruled.
Well, there are other BJP ruled states apart from Gujarat. Ms. Smriti Irani, you mentioned Gujarat twice. I'm afraid the other BJP government chief ministers might feel a little left out.
No, they won't.
To the audience at this stage, a second call of hands. The subject is this.
My questions
We
are
remember
still
the subject.
unanswered, though.
Smriti Irani says a question goes unanswered. I have 4 questions to all the 4 panelists, and that's coming up on the other side. But before that, we'll take some questions from the audience. Should we do that? And the question, therefore, is, the subject was this: communalism before the elections and the secular card after the elections is the reality of Indian politics. How many of you now, at this stage of the debate, agree with that statement? How many of you agreed with that statement? Can we have a call of hands? Those who agree with the comment that communalism before the election and secularism after is the reality of Indian politics. Well, I think very few people seem to agree with this subject, which means people genuinely believe that Indian politics is changing. Maybe you should also revisit your positions.
You speak about the right to preach and practice your own religion. I support that. I believe in that. Don't condemn me for my religion.
I am not condemning you. I am asking you, are you still
Don't
going to
condemn me
build the
for my
Ram temple
views
or
and
not?
my religion.
I am asking a specific question.
I have
Madam,
been
you are a
very
proud
specific.
Hindu. You should be proud Hindu. I am a proud Muslim.
He's
I am not
asking you a-
questioning
no, no,
I carry the
your
name-
religion.
I carry
I
the
am not
surname
questioning your
Irani.
religion.
Listen, listen,
I am
you are not in a
asking you,
position-
are you for
you are
Ram
not in
temple
a
or not?
position
Miss
to
Irani,
dissect my
I'm allowing the
religious
question.
views.
Are you
My
for Ram
question
temple
to
or
you is
not?
only
No,
this.
she's asking you a question.
Are you
Answer the
for
question.
Ram temple or not?
What we'll do at this stage, I'll take 3 or 4 questions, right? And I would be very happy if you quickly sort of mention the person you are asking the question to and make yours a question and not an observation. Okay, the gentleman right in front out here. Yes, please, at the very corner. No, no. Yeah. And who's your question to?
I have a question to Mrs. Irani that why Sangeet Som was in the controversial with the Muzaffar right election, why he was facilitated in the Agra rally when the country is seeing Modi as a secular figure.
Right.
Investigations have taken place into the allegations that were slapped upon the particular public representative. The allegations are found to be untrue. The fact that he continues to be a public representative is what was facilitated and appreciated on a public forum.
So you think
But-
that one second. So that this question is put in perspective.
But the Bharatiya Janata Party,
the
sir, has
BJP
been absolutely vehement in its stand
No.
that free and fair investigations take place and a due process of law takes place.
Well-
and it is that we stand by even on this case.
So the question was put here in the context of the BJP honoring
Arnab,
a
can I
riot
just-
accused
can I
MLA
just
at a
correct
function which was
Smriti on
eventually
facts
joined
because
by
he
their
keeps
prime
saying he has
ministerial
been
candidate.
exonerated.
Yeah.
It is wrong. Mr. Sangeet Som is still charge sheeted.
Yes, yes.
He is out on bail, and Miss Irani either doesn't know her facts clearly. Madam, with due regards to you, you are a very senior leader. I think he is on bail, and he was facilitated by none less than in the rally of Shri Narendra Modi, being the principal architect of those riots.
Okay, second question, please.
I think that there's a fact check which needs to be done with regards to what Randeep is trying to do. Congress has for long fought a war of perception, devoid of fact, which is what he's doing on this platform as well. If you look at,
I think we'll go to the second question from the audience. The second question from the audience. Who has a second question?
While Mr. Surjewala is absolutely silent on the sting operation done on Azam Khan,
you know what
there is propaganda silence.
That day you took Yadurappa and welcomed him.
He is not in the ministry.
What I am going to do at this stage is separate myself. What I am going to do at this stage is I am going to separate myself from my panelists. If they are so involved in the debate, they will not let you in. And now you realize how difficult it is to get a word in when politicians are in full flow. Why don't you take the second question?
My question is to the Congress spokesperson, that why we are always operating in a binary that either the idea of communalism should be replaced with the idea of nationalism. Although we know that both the idea of communalism is a false idea and false consciousness, and as well as the idea of post-47 nationalism is also a false consciousness. Please, sir.
While I agree with one statement of yours that communalism can never replace nationalism, because nationalism lives in the ethos of 125 crore Indians. But I disagree with the second part when you say that post-47 nationalism have evaporated. Nationalism in India lies in the beauty of its diversity, in the beauty of disagreement, and in the beauty of dissent, and in the beauty of many people and many views thriving together in the Indian politics.
Right, okay, we'll take just one more question.
My question is to the Congress spokesperson who is standing in front of me. Sir, my question is very simple. I think it has the very deep answer which can affect many of the politics which will be happening in the future. My question is that is the rights which happened or which can happen in future is being backed by the political parties for their own benefits, for just the vote bank, or what?
Okay.
Thank you. I think that's an extremely pertinent question that every young person or every Indian wants to know. Yes, we believe that the concept of communalizing or polarizing the polity into two parts, resulting into accumulation of majority community, lies behind many times and most times behind riots, and which are in many cases propagated and where architects are members of a particular political party and particular organization represented by Shri Ram Madhav.
No,
I never thought
it's very easy to say these things.
I never thought that I'll see a day where a Congress representative gets so inspired by the 1984 Sikh riots that he makes a statement like this.
That's why your Prime Minister went and apologized to the whole world.
Okay,
coming to your, let me correct Mr. Surjewala.
Despite India Bihari Vajpayee reminding Narendra Modi ji of Raj Dharma,
3,006 were massacred under your riots. One tree falls, whole earth tremble. That was the logic given by the Prime Minister of Congress Party at that time.
To be humble and say sorry.
At this stage,
remember, sir, this is a serious issue. Let me say one thing. India has had the history of communal rights. Please read the history of India. India has had the history of communal rights for more than a couple of centuries. It has faced innumerable. RSS was founded only in 1925. Before that, there were communal rights. After that, there were communal rights. They were happening.
You want communal rights to continue,
no single communal right blamed. No investigation was. No investigation blamed RSS.
Sorry, that is not the contrary of India.
On the contrary, in many cases,
can you please now? You made your points. You made your respective points now, gentlemen. 1 second. We are going now. I'm going to come back to the audience in some time. So let's go back to the debate. I'm now going to shoot some questions and go into an open debate round. We'll keep it very quick. In this part, there are no rules. We go straight into the debate. I want to begin with Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi. Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi, Your brother.
Thank you. I know this program wouldn't be done without him. Thank you.
I will ask every question that is relevant to the subject.
Welcome.
There's nothing personal about it.
I'm glad you're asking.
Don't take it personally, Mr.
No, not
Owaisi.
at all, not at all. I'm happy.
Your brother, Mr. Owaisi, is an elected member of the Legislative Assembly, if I'm not wrong, and he was charged for inciting communal violence on a number of occasions before his December 24th infamous 2012 hate speech.
Alleged
The hate speech.
Alleged hate speech.
That's your perception.
No.
Don't change my perception.
That is what the law says.
Don't teach me the law.
That is what the law says. I can teach you law because I'm a law graduate.
No, that doesn't.
Lincoln's Inn.
It's
so
very off. It's possible
it is alleged
to
hate speech. You're not courts of law.
You know, Mr. Owaisi, what I think is that the very fact that your brother enjoys your tacit support, despite saying things that are grievously, capable of hurting the country, in whose parliament you are a member of parliament, and the fact that you have, till date, refused to express basic regret for your brother's notorious comments, makes me feel that you put politics before the nation, your political interest before the nation, and your narrow sense of vote bank politics, Mr. Owaisi, before the nation. I want your response.
Number one, I don't require a loyalty certificate from Arnab Goswami.
Sure you don't.
I don't want.
Sure you don't.
Secondly, yes, a case was booked against him. A fatal attack was made on him. He went to London for medical treatment.
I'm also talking about a speech made in front of 20,000 people.
I cannot answer what you want. You have to have the patience to listen to the truth.
He made a speech on December 24th in front of 20,000 people.
Mr. Goswami,
which was exposed on the social media, debated, and till date, till this point of time, Mr. Owaisi, you have not spoken a word of regret about it. I thought perhaps today on the national election debate you would choose to do so. Maybe the audience expects you to do so.
I will completely disappoint you now and tomorrow as well.
Well,
the court has, please understand, please listen to me. Have the patience to listen, please. I'm not like other BJP spokesperson who, when you said never, ever, sever, anyway, listen to me.
If you
no, please. Arnab, I'm not making an allegation against you. Arnab, you have to listen to me. You have to listen to me. Please listen to me. He was in London. A case was booked. He came back. He surrendered to the police. He was incarcerated for 2 months. The courts of law will definitely decide. And the most unfortunate part is that Arnab Goswami is not going to decide that case. So the courts of law will decide. Please understand. He will definitely get justice from law. And as Mr. Varun Gandhi got justice from courts of law, we have confidence in the courts of law. You have to allow me to complete. You have to allow me to complete.
But at the same time,
Arnab Goswami,
I will certainly tell you that if you had sacked your brother earlier, if you had, despite his being your brother and your political associate, taken action against him, if you had, when you saw signs of possible fanaticism in him, stopped him and told him, don't say so. If when he made a provocative speech at Moghalpura in 2003, published in the media, in which he allegedly talked about turning the Lal Darwaza area into a green zone or turning it predominantly Islamic, police only lodged a petty case against him at that point of time. You at that point of time, Mr. Owaisi, could have stepped forward and said, this is the kind of politics that I will never allow. This is the kind of speech that should never be made. So, Mr. Owaisi, my question to you, and actually it's not between you and me, much as you would like it to be that way. When you turn a blind eye, then people will say that you possibly are complicit in allowing him to say these things.
Yes, this is your program, but please don't sermonize me.
Well,
don't do it.
You have not
don't
expressed
sermonize me.
now.
I know I don't want a lecture from you. You are asking me.
Well, I'm asking you a question.
Let me reply to a question. I have replied to a question.
He's made inflammatory, disparaging, and derogatory comments, including words which I would not like to repeat, Mr. Owaisi.
No.
This is not a lecture.
Can I get my 2 minutes, or you want to continue with your...
No, you can get more than 2 minutes, but I want you to answer your comments instead of responding.
The problem is you don't want to listen.
I'm waiting for you to answer.
If you can keep quiet, I can answer.
Well, I'm waiting for you to answer. Thank you.
The courts of law are seized of this matter. The courts will definitely... we have to process the due process of law. The courts are seized of this matter. No, listen to me, Mr. Goswami. I am really surprised that you don't ever talk about the article written by Mr. Subramanian Swamy, who has joined BJP, wherein what he said, that only those people should be allowed to vote who accept their Hindu ancestry, who said that Kashi Masjid should be removed. You don't talk about what Outlook magazine had talked about in the 9/9/2002 issue, wherein The BJP Prime Minister candidate said that should we run these relief camps for production children for children. You don't talk about what Mr. Vajpayee said.
This is a standard. First of all, I'll get the other panelists.
When he said Muslims of
you see, Mr. Owaisi.
No, you never talk about it.
Mr. Owaisi, we do talk about all that, and we do.
There is no uniformity.
You see, you must remember, Mr. Owaisi. You must remember, Mr. Owaisi. And I'll get the responses, but your brother. You
did a program on Praveen Togadia.
Yes,
Praveen Togadia is still freely roaming in Maharashtra, ruled state of Congress.
I will now. I now invite reactions.
Don't worry about
Mr. Ram Madhav.
Mr. Owaisi himself made inflammatory remarks inside the parliament. Did he not do that? Did he not say that this
specific?
You said that if things continue like this, there will be many more Islamic terrorists. They will take. That you said on the floor of the house, and you enjoy the protection of that.
RSS is a perpetual liars over here. You don't know your facts. You should come out with facts, Mr. Ram Madhav.
No, what did you never said in the parliament?
You quote me what I have said, and I can contradict you. Please don't put words into my mouth. When did I say? At least do some research as what Arnab Goswami has done. At least he's getting those dates right. Those speeches, maybe courts will decide. Please get your facts right.
Thank you for telling me that I was correct in what I said about
the speech.
My next question is to the Congress party. My next question. No. I have decided at this stage of the debate what this country needs are specific answers to questions. We say this. We say my question to you in the case of Mr. Owaisi is my question to you. My question to you in the case of Mr. Owaisi.
It's important to take this debate in a more reasoned fashion. Arnab, what Mr. Owaisi's brother said, and we all know, I don't want to repeat it, what Mr. Subramaniam Swamy has written about, for which he was removed from the Harvard board, what Mr. Varun Gandhi had said, what Mr. Narendra Modi had said, कि एक पिल्ला भी गाड़ी के नीचे आ जाता है तो दुख होता है, and what MNS and Shiv Sena says is what is wrong with this country. These are the fringe elements, whether it is Mr. Owaisi's brother, or people from Shiv Sena, BJP, RSS, the Swamis and Mr. Modis, who speak about people of this country in such derogatory fashion, are the ones who need to be exposed by the young of this country.
What about what Mr. Rajiv Gandhi said when Sikhs were massacred in Delhi? He said,
do not quote him out of context.
Is he also a fringe element?
RSS.
Is he also a fringe element?
Said RSS
is he also a fringe element?
Liar.
You answer. Is he also a fringe element?
That's why
don't selectively quote. Don't sermonize. You don't have the right. You don't enjoy that privilege. You are the most communal party in the country.
You have been perpetuating that lie.
You say your Prime Minister
Gandhi made
not
3 months after the incident.
Not me.
It was Rajiv Gandhi.
Who said it?
It was Mr. Rajiv Gandhi who called the army.
Mr. Surjewala, Mr. Surjewala, I ask you tonight directly. Please, Mr. Surjewala, I'm asking you today. This country is changing and we are facing an election. Don't tell me whether Rajiv Gandhi said it 1 day after, 2 days after, 3 days after, or 3 years after. I am asking you, no, 1 minute, Mr. Today, before the general election of 2014, does the Congress spokesperson condemn what Rajiv Gandhi said at that point of time? Do not dodge that question in any way, Mr. Surjewala. Do you condemn what Rajiv Gandhi said?
I accept the threat.
There's no threat. It's a very straight question.
It's a very straight answer that I gave to Mr. Ram Madhav.
I want you to answer my question.
It's a very straight answer.
Do you condemn what Rajiv Gandhi said?
What Mr. Rajiv Gandhi said had nothing to do with riots. A statement made 3 months in a public rally in a different context has been perpetuated by BJP and RSS as a lie.
It was the context of the 1984 riots, Mr.
The Indian National Congress.
My question to ask again a second time. I will ask this question 3 times.
Including the Prime Minister and Mrs. Sonia Gandhi inside and outside Parliament.
When Rajiv Gandhi said,
it was most unfortunate.
When he spoke about a big tree falling,
not have happened. Congress leaders have gone to jail.
Mr. Surjewala, I want to tell you this, Mr. Surjewala. I am eminently capable. Mr. Ram Madhav, 1 minute, please. Mr. Surjewala, I am eminently capable of both repeating myself and repeating myself loudly. And therefore, my question to you one more time. But I believe that Rajiv Gandhi's comment about a big tree falling and the earth trembling was made in the context of the fallout of Indira Gandhi's assassination and the anti-Sikh riots which took place, do you today condemn? People are watching you, Mr. Surjewala. I told you before the show, every word of yours is on record. Do you condemn Rajiv Gandhi's comment or not?
People who connected to the Sikh riots are perpetuating a lie since the time that speech was made 3 months after the riot by quoting him out of context.
Well, anyway.
I deprecate it and I once again reiterate that it is Congress which had the courage of conviction to say sorry for riots and has punished its own leaders who are facing trials. Some have been convicted. Why has Mr. Narendra Modi shied away for saying sorry for what he did, what was done under his command, and the riots and genocide that took place under his command?
You will answer that, but I want to place on record, if you're watching the national election debate, I have asked a Congress spokesperson whether he condemns what Rajiv Gandhi said twice, and he has not answered my question.
Oh, I did answer. I think it's a lie.
You have not answered my question.
Out of context.
The New India would want you to answer my question. Mr. Surjewala, and now Ms. Smriti Irani has much to counter for. Would you like me to ask you a question, Ms. Smriti Irani? Among the first things your controversial General Secretary, Mr. Amit Shah, did after being anointed, as UP in charge, was raise the Ram Janmabhoomi issue. Now, I don't understand if your party has a Hindutva agenda, and don't give me the definition of Hindutva. You know what happened in Babri Masjid. You know what the polarization that will follow if the Ram Janmabhoomi issue is raised. Would you say today that you condemn what Amit Shah did by raising the Ram Janmabhoomi issue in a selective manner to polarize the voters in Uttar Pradesh?
I was very much witness to the news report that you played on Times Now with regards to Mr. Shah's visit to the Ram Mandir. And when asked what he is doing there, he said, I came to take blessings. I, as an individual, go to the Somnath temple, Dwarka temple. Am I to be condemned for practicing my religion? No. I think my party has set its agenda very clearly in front of the people of India who go to vote for Lok Sabha 2014. Our agenda is only good governance and development.
Okay. So you also... Okay, we have a question for her.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you still stand by the 1989 Palampur resolution passed by RSS that we will build a Ram temple?
Palampur resolution.
No, Palampur resolution. Do you still stand by it?
Okay.
Since I'm not a part of the RSS, the representative of the RSS
do you
can
still
answer
stand
that.
by it? Do you still
The
stand by it?
representative of RSS can answer questions relating to the RSS.
You don't stand by it.
I appreciate the jugalbandi between Randeep and Mr. Owaisi, which is very obvious for everybody.
1 minute, Ms. Smriti Irani, I allow the question. Yes, Mr. Irani. Yes.
I appreciate the jugalbandi between the two gentlemen here, which the audience has seen.
Well, if this is 1 minute, I want a lighter note. If this is a jugalbandi, if this is a jugalbandi, then this is an orchestra and doesn't involve me. Yes, Mr. Owaisi, please continue.
Arnab, this definitely
I am not part of that orchestra. Yes, Mr. Owaisi, go ahead.
Arnab, the nation must understand that there is a division of labor within the Sangh Parivar. RSS controls everything. What BJP does is the BJP Katputli. You are talking Jugalbandi or Katputli. Don't take it the wrong way, because there's a division of labor. Do you still stand by the resolution or not? Please tell us. And the nation wants to know, do you still stand by...
I thought nation wants to know was Arnab.
Please. For once I've taken his dialogue. So, please understand, do you still stand by what has been stated by Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyaya on your website, Integral Humanism, wherein Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyaya says that Muslims cannot be trusted?
No,
do you still stand? He has said that. I am quoting you page number 7, paragraph. I am quoting you page number 7. Please go there, it is there.
Since you come with your own set of facts which are conjured out of pure air.
No, I have not. From your website. From your website, madam. Please have the patience to go and read it.
Answer?
Please,
or are you here for political posturing so that you can get more votes in Hyderabad?
No, I don't do political posturing for power or after power. I say don't change. Please go ahead.
The book that you refer to is called Ekatma Manav Darshan, and it has absolutely no reference to any specific religion whatsoever. It speaks about serving humanity. It speaks about integral humanism. So my request to you is that instead of
when
inciting,
it comes to trusting of Muslims,
in terms of
the word
inciting
Pandit
violence,
Deendayal Upadhyaya
sir, in
has
terms
used
of
in his
inciting
conversation with
violence on a
Guruji
public
is that when
debate
it comes to
forum
trusting of
which seeks to
Muslims, you
create
cannot trust
consensus
Muslims.
on national
You are not
issues.
answering.
My
Are you
request
still
to you
stand
is-
by? Do you
my
still
request
stand by
to
the
you is
Palampur
this.
resolution?
My
Do you still
request to
stand
you
by the
is this.
Palampur
You see
resolution or
the,
not?
My request to you, Mr. Owaisi, is this. Mr. Goswami, please. You speak about the right to preach and practice your own religion. I support that. I believe in that. Don't condemn me for my religion.
I am not condemning you. I am asking you, are you still
Don't
going to
condemn me
build the
for my
Ram temple
views
or
and
not?
my religion.
I am asking a specific question.
I have
Madam,
been
you are a
very
proud Hindu.
specific.
You should be proud Hindu. I am a proud Muslim.
No, he's
I am not
asking you-
questioning
no, no,
Sir, I
one
carry
second,
the
your
Mr.
name.
religion.
I carry
I
the
am not
surname
questioning
Irani.
your religion.
Mr. Irani,
I
You
am
are not in a
asking you,
position-
are you for
Mr.
Ram
Irani,
temple or not?
Mr. Irani, I'm allowing the question.
Are you
My
for Ram
question
temple
to
or
you is
not?
only
No,
this.
she's asking you a question.
Are you
Answer the
for
question.
Ram temple or not?
I am for
Are you
everybody
do you
having
still
a
abide
right
by
to
the
practice
Palampur
their own
resolution or
religion.
not?
I am for the.
No, he's not
I am
you're not
for-
answering
No, you are
the
running
question.
away from the
Finish.
question.
But he's asking a very specific
I'm
question on the
answering
Ram
his
temple at
question.
Ayodhya, not everybody.
I'm
and
answering
everywhere.
his
Yeah.
question.
Go ahead. Yeah.
My answer to your question is this. I am for supporting every individual to practice their own religion.
Of course,
if that
the
includes,
Constitution guarantees. You don't have to guarantee
the
that.
Constitution
The
guarantees
Constitution
me right
guarantees
to free
everyone.
speech. Allow me to
Then
speak freely.
Freedom of religion is a fundamental
Allow me
right.
to speak
I am
freely, Mr.
asking you about
Owaisi.
the resolution of Palampur.
Sir,
89
allow me to
resolution.
speak freely.
Basing on that resolution, this
I
whole
am
movement was
speaking on
started.
behalf of the
my-
BJP when I say, allow me, Mr. Goswami.
I need to follow
No, no.
follow on,
No,
Ms.
that's
Mr.
No, no,
Chair.
no. Allow me a response.
No, if you have decided not to
Allow
answer
me
the
a
question, you can
response.
say
I'm
so.
not being
Madam,
allowed
now
a
that
response. Allow me a
Smriti ji is
response,
not
Mr.
answering
Owaisi.
that, can I ask
And I can
another
appreciate your,
Can I ask
I can
another
appreciate
question?
your help
No, I'm
from
not
Mr.
asking.
Owaisi. Let me
I'm not
finish with him
asking what
first.
Mr. Owaisi is asking.
Let me finish with him first.
No, but you finish in
My-
20
my
seconds, I
question-
please.
Please don't finish it.
20 seconds. You
Don't
reply now,
finish me,
Mr.
you
Irani.
cannot finish me. You have to answer to a
Sir,
question.
I'm the
Please.
actor on the panel.
thank
Please
you,
don't
thank
get
you.
into
I know.
melodrama.
Yeah.
Now, my answer to your question is only this. Since we respect everybody's right to practice their religion, that also includes Hinduism, we have time and again said on every platform that the Ram Mandir movement is a movement of cultural nationalism, is Astha ka vishay. Don't politicize it here, sir.
Why are you not shameful of their
I
activity?
request-
You should be shameful.
Why are you not
You should be shameful of your
from
history
them?
of communal rights.
I will
be shameful.
I will step in at this stage, Mr. I will step in at this stage.
asked about Ram Janmabhoomi.
No, my question to you, I have 4
Their
minutes.
Home Minister,
Sir,
Mr.
none
Bhutta
less-
Singh,
none
was
less
present
my-
all
my-
the
my-
leadership
leadership,
my
even
very-
this is the duplicity of the
He is
Congress party.
facing-
See, Mr. Surjewala, the easier way out is to ask counter questions. I just want to ask you, I found it touching that you referred to Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru a number of times in your opening comments. And you said that whatever Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru says is the last word. And I presume that you would agree with me that what Jawaharlal Nehru says on secularism should also be followed and
also
never
he also
breached.
said uncertain.
One minute. Do you first? Do you stand by what you said 10
please
minutes back?
carry on.
No, do you stand by what you said 10 minutes back?
Please carry on.
Do you stand by what you said?
Please carry on.
Are you going to change what you said 10
Pandit
minutes back?
Jawaharlal Nehru
Because you didn't answer my last
did
question.
lay down the foundation of this country. That's a fact that has been recognized by one and all in this country.
This
No,
nation
one
was
sec.
a nation before Mr.
On the
Nehru.
27th of June,
Definitely.
1961,
The nation
one
only
minute,
became
one
a
minute, one minute,
nation 15th
one minute,
August 47,
one
madam.
minute,
You
one
have to
minute.
know
You
your
see,
facts.
your
I
part.
know my
One,
facts.
Mr. Surjewala, you see, you don't have to worry about being cornered, Mr. Surjewala.
Oh, I'm not.
On the
don't worry.
27th of June 1961, Jawaharlal Nehru said, I am grieved to learn how far this business of reservation has gone on based on communal considerations. What do you think Jawaharlal Nehru would have said about your party's sudden desire to introduce 4.5% sub-quota for Muslims before the UP elections of 2012? And would you do something like that in the general election as well? Would you expect regret for what you did in 2012?
As far as what Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru said in a particular context, I also want to remind you that the same, almost an identical speech was made by none less than Mr. Rajiv Gandhi
You are
in the
avoiding
Indian
my
Parliament.
question, Mr. Surjewala. You're avoiding my
Reservation
question.
is a matter of, reservation has been a matter of considerable debate in this country. when other backward class reservation was done in this country, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi put across a point of view that is known to everybody. However,
no, you avoided my question. You see, you avoided my question.
A cumulative view has been taken by all political parties in larger public debate on the issue of
I'm laying on record, Mr. Surjewala,
that Congress has adhered.
But Mr. Surjewala, you just said we follow Jawaharlal Nehru. I quoted what Jawaharlal Nehru said about religious reservations. And you now say that we don't believe in what Jawaharlal Nehru said. We've revised that. Therefore, Mr. Surjewala, you are contradicting not just yourself but also Jawaharlal Nehru at the same time.
Absolutely not, Arnab. Reservation in this country has been evolutionary and has been a subject matter of constant debate. There are very strong opinions. One political party or one individual cannot decide on the reservation policy of India. The Indian Parliament has by majority decided on it. The Bharatiya Janata Party, the Congress Party and many other political parties have agreed on a certain framework of reservation which continues till date. I'm not saying it cannot be redebated. It can be redebated, but it has to be redebated. It has to be redebated one day, and it has to be redebated with the entire country forming a large consensus on the modality and on the manner of changing it.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming, Miss, quick questions now, Miss Smriti Irani, and by the way, at the end of this, I'm going to allow you to put in 2 points what you're promising the voters of India on this subject. Now, I think what Ms. Smriti Irani, the BJP does is that it has many other parties, allies, as well as groups like the RSS working for it, who provide the more extreme, perspective on issues, while the BJP tries to present a moderate line within. However, I believe today that since you are talking straight, I will quote Balasaheb Thackeray to you in the interview to the Shiv Sena mouthpiece Samna. And this is a quote. When I come into my element, I will not allow a single fanatic Muslim to live in Maharashtra and wherever we have party branches right up to Jammu and Kashmir. Ms. Smriti Irani, do you believe these kind of comments are not just condemnable, but should have invited a much stronger reaction from your party earlier? Because I find an ambivalent and convenient silence from your party on statements such as this.
Since Balasaheb Thackeray is no more.
No, I'm talking about what he said.
For me to answer anything retrospectively would be...
Why didn't you answer it then?
Well, I was not in a position to give an answer to your question. Since you pose it to me now, let me say even on your podium, I am not a representative of the Shiv Sena. I am a representative of the Bharatiya Janata Party, which has outlined its agenda for coalition politics very clearly, and that agenda is of good governance and development.
So question here is that there are other issues on which you do comment on what the Shiv Sena says. The BJP on Sadhvi Pragya Joshi, and I'm going to invite reactions from this side on this. The BJP supports the Shiv Sena's move of extending legal aid to the suspects. The BJP says there is absolutely nothing wrong in using private funds for helping someone. We have no objection to the Shiv Sena's announcement of extending legal aid to the Malegaon blast suspects. It is absolutely everyone's right. Would you allow a similar right to be exercised, 1 minute, by any of the other political parties if they choose to do so in any other context apart from where those who are accused have some relationship or some links to the RSS and the Sangh Parivar?
In an answer to that question of yours, I will quote Mr. Owaisi, who says, irrespective of the religion of the person, if somebody accused of a wrongdoing through investigation has been found to be indulging in those anti-national activities, they should be punished. If somebody, after investigations, is found to be innocent, then
this is during investigations. This is during investigations.
Allow me to finish, Arnab.
This is during investigation.
In terms of the people you quote,
a person accused of terrorism. A simple question is this, Ms. Irani.
Very categorically said on every platform, irrespective of a person's
I would have expected, Ms. Smriti Irani, for you to say,
stating on behalf
you are on
of my
record
party
today.
What has been said time and again on record, irrespective of your political ideology, your religious identity. If you attack national interest if you indulge in illegal activities, due process of law should be followed and the guilty shall be punished.
So in
That is the stand of
what
the
you're
BJP.
basically saying is that somebody accused of terrorism can get financial and legal help from political parties. It's an interesting perspective for a party
No, I have not
which has
said
always
that.
taken
I
a
have
tough
only
line on
said
internal
what the
security.
BJP has- No,
well, I'm
I have said
counter
what the
questions.
BJP has said.
10 minutes on the debate.
Irrespective of whoever is accused, the due process of law shall follow,
Well,
which also includes getting a lawyer to defend their stand, which is something that they do independent of any
a lawyer
political
not sponsored
organization
by a
like
political
us,
party.
like us,
Any
and
counters?
I've categorically stated the
Any
BJP's
counters to
positions on
Smriti
the
Irani,
same.
please? Yes, go ahead.
I'll go after.
Randeep Surjewala.
I want to ask Smriti ji, when Samjhota Express, Makkah Masjid, Malegaon, Ajmer Dargah Sharif blast, everybody connected to either BJP or RSS, whether it is Swami Asimanand, whether it is Sadhvi Pragya, whom we just spoke about, whether it is Sunil Joshi, whether it is Sandeep Dang, how do you defend those who, on one side, when we say that we respect all religions and their right to profess and practice,
Right.
and on other side, such fringe elements who disrupt that very concept of secularism and idea of India, how do you defend, aid, abet and provide them legal aid?
I think that what needs to be highlighted here is the questions that I've posed to Mr. Surjewala throughout this debate remain unanswered. In a response to his
cannot be a question, ma'am.
No, allow me to answer the question, since I have the courage of my conviction to answer and not run away, unlike you, sir. The Samjhota Express blast that you speak about, sir, is something that the government of India presented papers at the UN International Forum blaming Pakistan for it. For you to use that incident then to attack Indian citizens is a matter of investigation.
So you are defending all the members of the RSS who have been named there.
I'm not defending anybody. I am just showing the dichotomy of views and the dichotomy of stands.
Madam, absolutely incorrect. Change your facts again, none less than the Home Secretary
Randeep ji, allow me to finish. In the course of these investigations, sir, came a public statement from a gentleman who said that Digvijay Singh and the Home Minister of India promised him certain benefits if he could, through false testimony.
Okay, we had a counter coming in. Ram Madhav, 5 minutes on the debate.
So
yes, Ram Madhav.
No, I'm just saying that in the
all the people who were mentioned there,
go back to
all the people who were mentioned there,
in the 1984 riot cases, many of your Congress people financed the trial, they supported the accused like Mr. Sajjan Kumar and all. They have been defending them. They defended Mr. Bhagat, who is no more. This happened when those communal riots happened. As far as Sadhvi Pragya and others are concerned, I must tell you one thing. 8 years after the FIR was filed, no final charge sheet has been filed even to this day. It's your government. What are you doing for 8 years? They have
Ram
kept them in
Madhav ji,
jail.
on one side,
and you say that
Smriti
nobody
Irani
should
ji says they are not
support
even
them.
accused.
Nobody.
You are saying they are still under trial.
What they try to do is, by creating the bogey of Hindu terror, they created a bogey of Hindu terror. I'm accusing them to get a terror equilibrium. They wanted a terror equilibrium.
So this, 1 minute. Mr. Surjewala,
I give you so many examples.
I'll have to step in. I'll step in.
I give you examples of this.
Why are you not shameful of their activities?
You should be shameful.
Why are you not
You should be shameful of your history of communal rights.
I will step in at this stage, Mr. I will step in at this stage.
Mr. Owaisi asked about Ram Janmabhoomi.
No. My question to you. I have 4 minutes.
Their Home Minister, Mr. Bhutta Singh, was present
all your
my
leadership
my
even
very-
today
the duplicity of the
is
Congress
facing
party.
prosecution
They
for
say
demolishing
something to
Babri
somebody.
my very Mr.
Something to Hindus.
There are
They do ask
Mr.
us
Ram
for
Madhav, the time has come for you to be very clear today.
Yes.
None of these people, right, who are mentioned here, Sunil Doshi, who's no more, Sandeep Dange on the run, Lokesh Sharma, Swami Asimanand, Mukesh Vasani, Devender Gupta, Chandrasekhar Leve, Kamal Chauhan, and Ramji Kalsangra. If you go by the if you agree,
Indresh is not there.
If you
don't take his name.
if you agree,
No, it's not there. It's not there.
Do you believe, Mr. Ram Madhav, that the Bharatiya Janata Party should provide financial and legal assistance to all these people who have been linked with the RSS and whose names have come in the case of the Samjhota and the Ajmer and the Mecca Masjid blast?
Let me at the outset, in front of all of you,
Yes,
say
please.
that if the charges are proved, they have to be punished. If the charges are put.
Should the BJP provide financial assistance and legal assistance?
Yeah, I'm answering that question. I do not have any evidence to show that BJP as a party financed or defended, paid their legal fare, anything. They are being supported by individuals. But they are facing a lot of problems paying the fee in Supreme Court, in High Court. They are facing.
So the BJP should provide financial assistance.
No, I'm not saying that.
Why shouldn't
they have people who
Sir,
defend them.
on this program you say that RSS and BJP is not, and their legal team is not fighting
We have enough individuals to take care of them.
We have enough individuals. Thank you.
Mr. Surjewala, my last question goes to Mr. Surjewala. And we have 3 minutes on the debate. You see, Mr. Surjewala, maybe this word will be avoided on some other channels, but not on this one. Minority appeasement. Some people feel that when you decided, despite the, and I know what Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi is going to say, but when you dragged your feet in the case of Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi's brother, when you did nothing, when the whole country was asking you, inflammatory comment has been made, where comments has been made by Akbaruddin Owaisi, which as I said to Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi, I won't even repeat in the course of this debate.
No, you can repeat.
No, I wouldn't repeat such venomous words.
Please repeat, because the courts of law will decide.
I will not repeat your brother's venomous speeches or even a word out of them.
It's your prerogative.
Yes, it is. I choose to do so. But I'm completely baffled, as people are, that have you carried this whole business of, vote bank politics to a point where you compromise on national interest? Because you dragged your feet in the case of Mr. Owaisi. 1 minute. You overlooked all his venomous speeches multiple times since 2007. There are 7 documented instances in the media domain. He was not arrested immediately. You did not act. There were cases for similar hate speeches in the past, and the Andhra police action took no suo motu action. Your chief minister tried to avoid it. You even blamed the media for playing it up. You were completely embarrassed that only when you were cornered, Mr. Randeep Surjewala, did you have to act against him. Now, ahead of the general election of 2014, my ultimate question, and this goes to the Congress party, is this: are you not yourself tired, Mr. Surjewala, of these double standards? Would you not in the future say that the young people of India deserve a chance where you put the nation first and communal or the so-called secular politics behind? Let's move towards a new India. Would you have done differently in the case of Mr. Owaisi?
Let me thank you for asking that question and permitting me to clarify. Mr. Arnab Goswami, it was the Congress government which imposed charges of sedition on Mr. Owaisi's brother, for which he had to spend 42 days in jail, and he is currently on
Speech was made on December of 2012. We were arrested on January 8th,
have 2013. The patience to hear the answer.
No,
it is the Congress government.
You were coerced to.
Which registered those criminal cases, which led to breaking of an alliance with Mr. Owaisi's party. He is out of the 2009
facts wrong.
Well, he's got a fact check.
It was Mr. Randeep Surjewala. It was in October itself.
Yeah.
We had withdrawn our support to UPA and to the state government. My request to you is that please enlighten me. A same case has been booked against Praveen Togadia in your Maharashtra ruled state.
No.
No, why are you not? No, Arnab Goswami, this is a relevant question.
I'm talking about.
No, you should ask him.
Arnab, I'll answer both questions.
My question was,
please understand. Why is it that even after 12 months having been passed, you don't want to arrest them? Why are you afraid of RSS?
Whether it is your brother, sir, or whether it is Mr. Praveen Togadia, I've already said people who disrupt the social fabric of this country, the secular fabric of this country, would be dealt with in the 4 corners of law and will be dealt with very strictly, just like your brother was dealt with by the Congress government in your state, sir.
Mr. Surjewala, in Maharashtra, you have your party in power, but when it comes to Praveen Togadia, you're not doing it. He's roaming freely. In fact, you are giving him security wherever he is going. You are giving security. Why these double standards?
Well,
my whole question is why these double standards?
Mr. Owaisi, Mr. Owaisi, you have
no double standards. Anybody who disrupts
I'm not interested
the social fabric of this country would be dealt with in accordance with law.
I still hold here that the only reason I asked the question, not because I'm obsessed about this case, is because this was a classic case in which the Congress party pretended like nothing had happened. And you cannot afford to do that.
Oh, charges of sedition are a pretension now.
Oh, certainly after you were forced
Sending
to
somebody to jail for 42 days till he gets bailed by the majesty of the judicial process is also a pretension. I'm sorry, if this is pretension, then there's no reality.
You were forced.
You are accused of hand in glove with Hindu communalists.
Okay, now there is, since the RSS is not a political play, I won't include them at this part. No, 1 second.
I can go more on that.
Mr. Owaisi.
Because in 47 and 48, when Pandit Nehru was in London, it was Sardar Patel who said RSS can become members of Congress.
Sir,
Nehru had to come back and then ensure the resolution is taken back. That is on record. Mr. Surjewala knows about it.
Sir,
so there is always a connection between you and Congress.
I think Mr. Owaisi, check your facts again.
That is the most
Mr. Owaisi, check your facts again.
Okay,
it was none less than no. He said it's a fact check. He leveled a serious allegation. Please check your facts again. It was same Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel which said on 11 September 48 about RSS, the speeches of the Sangh leaders are poisonous. It is as a result of this venom that Mahatma Gandhi has been assassinated. It is Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel who said that.
At this stage, I allow the three political parties.
In your
I allow the. I'm allowing
Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel who said that.
I allow Mr. Owaisi. I allow three political parties, and we are going for the final show of hands. First of all, at this stage, how many of you believe that communal secular politics will genuinely end in this country? Because my question is this: communalism before the election and secularism after, is this become a reality of Indian politics? What do you think? Is this a reality of Indian politics? Well, I think an increasing number of people now seem to think that is a reality. Closing comments, we are going to allow each of our political parties here. I'm going to allow each of them 2 points, which you would put to the entire Indian voter today, Mr. Surjewala. 2 points which you would promise them on record you would do. Put it very briefly in 30 seconds if you were to come to power. Mr. Surjewala.
Communalism is something that every Indian needs to fight. Communal violence bill aimed at targeted violence, not only against minorities, it can be broadened to include majority community also, is perhaps a way forward where politicians or bureaucrats, those who fail to undertake their responsibility, are punished by the majesty of law. Also, majority or minority, they both have to be cohabitative. A cohesion has to be ensured by the political process and by political parties in order to ensure that the idea of India thrives.
Right. Smriti Irani.
As we debated, I saw the look on the face of the audience member, especially the young. I see a look of disdain. अगर इनका चेहरा पढ़ूं तो चेहरे पे साफ लिखा है कि ये झगड़ा छोड़ो. ये बताओ कि नौकरी कैसे मिलेगी, ये बताओ कि इकोनॉमी कैसे ठीक होगी, ये बताओ कि महिलाएं सुरक्षित कैसी होंगी. So on behalf of the BJP on this platform, let me say this. Randeep ji, when you spoke about Pilla, मुझे लगता है कि किसी को भी दुख होगा अगर आप उस शब्द को किसी कम्युनिटी से इक्वेट करें. मुझे भी होगा. मुझे लगता है यहाँ जितने लोग बैठे हैं, I don't know how many of them I speak for, but let me say this: we were not here to fix a blame for the past. We are all here, I'm sure, to fix a course for the future. And the future of India will only be secure if we focus ourselves unitedly as one nation, one people, on issues of development, on issues of equal opportunity, for justice for all and appeasement of none.
Right.
That is the promise of the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Thank you very much. RSS not contesting the election, so I'm going to skip. Finally, Mr. Owaisi, to you, what would your agenda be if you were to have a role in a future government?
Of course, we have a role.
In the context of the subject.
In the context of subject, I hope that people of India will realize that a strong India, when people talk about strong India, India can be strong if pluralism is kept alive. India can be strong if secularism is kept alive. India cannot remain strong if one talks about only leaving aside with the cultures and the languages and the religions which this country has. This is the only nation on the face of the earth which has so many religions and cultures. You have a party, you have a leader in the form of Modi who has repeated Gujarat. My request to you is that think before, because unless until you protect secularism, think about all those people who are there in jail. 10% of IPS officers of Gujarat are lying in jail. Is that governance do you want? Is that the governance you want? That a person will snoop into your room?
No.
Yes, we want development. Before development, nation comes. And nation demands that secularism and pluralism
which I began my entire debate
This is
with.
what you have
I
to
think economy is important. Fighting corruption is important.
And
A
so
strong
is
foreign
that-
policy. A strong foreign policy is important. A strong foreign policy is a strong. 1 minute, gentlemen. A strong.
Togadia should be in jail. His brother should be roaming in the Hyderabad street.
A strong.
That is his
A strong.
India.
A strong.
I want RSS. I want RSS leaders who are there.
Think about the future.
I want
think about the youngsters. Don't talk about this small
future.
thing.
You should
You are-
never
you are
forget
stuck
about
in
the
that.
past.
You are stuck in the
RSS
Okay.
wants you to
Gentlemen,
forget the assassination of Mahatma
Gentlemen,
Gandhi. RSS wants
I
you
think-
to forget about communal
You killed
rights.
millions. You are
RSS
stuck
wants
there.
you to forget about
This
Babri
is
Masjid demonstration.
Mr. Owaisi.
You cannot forget about this
Mr.
thing.
Owaisi, this
Yes,
is the
we
Mr.
have to
Owaisi.
build.
This is the national election
Yes.
debate, not a MIM rally.
Yeah.
And finally, I thank you
Arnab
all.
Goswami, if I speak in this way, you are unhappy. Now, how should I speak? Should I learn it how to speak?
I think
Formula?
it's
I
time
can't do
for
that.
you to
Certainly,
create
no,
political
certainly
market
only for
enough,
want of
sir.
time. Thank you for joining me on the first, on this national election debate. I think one thing nobody can disagree with, you need to fight corruption, you need a strong foreign policy, you need to give jobs. But let nobody believe in a country which has been racked by riots, you don't need communal amity. And hence the debate on communalism has been very relevant. I thank you all, and I hope we be able to build some perspective wherever you're watching tonight. Thank you very much, and see you soon on the next debate. Goodbye.